What's up? It's your boy Donnie C, and I'm back to give you another review of The Housewives of Atlanta. This time I'm doing part 1 and part 2 of the season 12 reunion. We're gonna breeze through it, but before we do, I just want to talk about what's going on in America right now with the civil unrest in several cities and states across the country. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as I've expressed before, and we definitely had protests and riots last night. They're trying to implement a curfew for tonight. So there's a lot going on. And I just want to say that although I don't agree with looting, I don't agree with tearing down businesses, I think this is the result of people that have been unheard for years. And I think that this is something that you can't question or blame the reaction to mistreatment. You need to blame the mistreatment in the first place. You slap a dog long enough, it will bite you, and it won't give a fuck about how you feel because you've been abusing the dog. And I think this is the result of black people. I myself did protest last night, and I was thoroughly pleased with the diversity that was in the crowd. It was not just black people. There were white people out there. And I got a chance to talk to a few white people that expressed to me why they were there. And I just want to say that as we move forward in our protesting, we cannot generalize all white people and put them in one category. What we don't like is the racist motherfuckers who continue to put their knees in our necks and try to kill us. That's what we don't want. That video of George Floyd brought me to tears. That man, a grown man, called out for his mother as that officer put his knee in his neck. That lets you know that, first of all, the bond between a mother and her kids is incomparable to anything else, no matter how old you get. And second of all, that lets you know that that man is a monster because he put his knee in that man's neck and watched him call out for his mother and watched his nose bleed, his mouth bleed, watched him take his last breath and took pleasure from it. So before I get too political and I get too invested into that conversation, I'm going to change the tone of the conversation. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. I'll probably do a video solely on that type of thing, what's going on in America right now as far as the injustices that go on in the black community. That's probably going to be my next video from me to you guys. But until then, we're going to get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta, so let's change up the tone, let's lighten it up a bit, and let's get into some things. So, like I said, we are going to do part 2 and part 3. So we're going to start with part 2. Part 2 starts off with Portia's receipts. Now, I done said it in every video, I love Portia. Her receipts, though, just like she told Kenya, put them in a shredder. I don't think they did anything to make Kenya and Cynthia's relationship dissipate. I really don't. What I did find funny, though, is Portia kept referring to Eva as that bottom bitch in the bottom square. When I tell y'all Portia did not come to play, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, but I really feel like she had the best reads the whole reunion, child. So then we get into the topic of Portia and Kenya and their friendship and where do they stand. Once again, I love Portia, but I do have to say, I do feel like Kenya held up her end of the bargain a little bit more than Portia did, and this is why. Portia was throwing a lot of shade in her confessionals at Kenya ass. Kenya had like 1 or 2 subs at Portia. But I'm a Housewives fan, so I did a lot of watching interviews from them all, you know what I'm saying? And Kenya definitely spoke of Portia in high regard. In all of her interviews during the time when they were friends and were supposed to be friends and they were cool. I actually, as much as I don't like Kenya, I would like for Kenya and Portia to be friends just because it would change the dynamic a little bit. It would just be interesting to see Kenya and Portia on the same team. Even though Portia and Nene have their issues, they get into it. I mean, we all expect for them to make up at some point and keep it pushing. For Portia to make up with Kenya and actually be a real friend to Kenya, it would change the dynamics of the show. I think that the current cast is getting a little stale. It's the same people versus the same people. We need to see a shakeup. And if we're not going to add new people or fire anybody, then Portia being genuinely invested in her friendship with Kenya would definitely start to stir the pot. Child, Kenya, little dusty ass, talking about some Shamia told her when she was going into labor. We found out that's a complete and utter bald-faced, butter-cheek ass lie that Kenya told. Like Portia said, that was a whole month before Shamia even had that goddamn baby. Well, let me not call it a goddamn baby. Before she even had that, before she even had that beautiful child that she had, that was a whole month before. So, Kenya is so annoying. And you know what's crazy? She takes zero accountability for things like this. Yes, she owns her shade, but she does not own when she's made a mistake or when she may be wrong. We're like, bitch, my bad. I misinterpreted your text, ho. My bad. Why you can't say that, Kenya? It's the bumps on your face blocking your brain, bitch. Bumpy face asshole. Oatmeal pie face. Speaking of Kenya, little dusty ass, why the fuck does she keep, whenever somebody calls her a bitch, she's like, oh my god, here I am being called another bitch. Oh my god, you're calling me a bitch. Okay, first of all, let's be clear. Kenya herself has called people bitches on the show. Let's be clear. But bitch, you called Tanya a cunt. And you walk around, like Portia said, you walk around calling people cunts like bitch is the worst thing to be called. Bitch, you called that woman a cunt. But okay, bitch is the worst. That's as bad as it gets. Girl, bye. Then we get into the topic over fun shade versus low down dirty in the gutter. I do think it's a very thin line. Kenya is a person that does go low down dirty in the gutter and take it too far. Sorry, that's why I paused. You're going to have to edit that out. I know I had to burp. I felt it coming. Fun shade is like, bitch, your hair, it's cute. You're using a new product. It's a little drier than, usual. That is like fun shade. Bitch, when you start bringing people, the side lady, to meet the side chick and the side piece, and then the dudes there, and now that's not fun shade. That's low down, dirty, in the gutter, bottom barrel ass bitch. Like Portia said, bottom bitch. That's Kenya ass. And then when Andy asked everybody, like, did everybody think that was fun shade as far as what Kenya did to Marlo? Cynthia, little dumbass, the only one that raised her little weak ass hand. And I agree with what Candy said. It was funny. It was not fun shade. There's a difference. Because sometimes we will laugh at somebody getting read the fuck down and it's not fun shade, but it's still funny. And I feel like Candy summed it up. It was funny. It was not fun shade. And that is pretty much how you sum up what Kenya did. She's still a dirty bitch. So then we get into the conversation between Nene and Kenya. I don't even know, it just blew up out of nowhere. It just went kaboom. Like, it was like when Japan dropped the bombs on what was that, Vietnam? Whoever did Pearl Harbor on December 7th, when they dropped the bombs on us, it was just out of nowhere, right? And what was funny to me is that when Nene was like, all Kenyan men want a social distance from her dumb ass. I was cracking up. I'm like, what's up with these social distancing jokes? Because Eva's titties was social distancing. Now we got Kenya, men want a social distance from her. And so that read session was funny. I thought that was funny when Kenya said that. But then I also did not like when Kenya said, why the ugliest bitches always want to come for the prettiest bitches on the show? You are the ugliest bitch on this cast, and yet you're coming for me. And again, I think it goes back to featureism. I think it goes back to colorism. I think it goes back to black people not appreciating what makes them black. Because what makes Nene ugly? We, as black people, we have wider noses, bigger lips, just very present features in our face. And I don't understand how calling someone ugly on that platform, because let's not lie, like in our lives, we don't do this. But when you have a platform, you have to think and move different because you influence a lot more people. If I want to have a kiki with my best friend, be like, that bitch a ugly bitch. You saw that wildebeest, bitch. That is a kiki between me and my friend. That's table talk. When you're on a platform, it is a responsibility that you carry and that you hold to hold yourself to a certain standard. And so to me, to call her ugly, it's going to ignite in the little girls that are watching that if they have a nose like Nene's, if they have lips like Nene, hell, if they even just look like Nene, period, then they're ugly. And we have to stop that because although Kenya is dark-skinned, she has a very European aesthetic. She has a smaller nose, smaller lips. Things that although she's dark-skinned, make her more acceptable as a beautiful person to the white community. So we definitely got to work on using words like ugly when we're talking about especially African American people who have very African American or African features. I do not like that because I'm for the people. How can y'all be for George Floyd but making fun of people with features like him? Self-hating ass Negroes. Child, corny ass Tanya from Canada tried her best to give us a good read. She tried her best to hang with the crowd. Tanya is not a... She tried her best though. I could tell it was her best. Now her best wasn't good enough, but I could tell it was her best. She tried her best to give us what we needed with Tanya. No. Sorry. But what was funny on Tanya's segment was when Portia pulled out the cue card like, we have a question from Portia in Atlanta. Portia's sense of humor is fucking incomparable. Like, who can you like? Portia, maybe Nene when she's having a good day, but Portia has a great sense of humor, and that's why she's fave. Like, she's beautiful, she's brown, she keeps her hair on fleek, and she's been reading this whole reunion. Maybe they should give her Hennessy every episode, because I do think it was the Hennessy that had her ass on her toes. Because sometimes, like, when you're in that tipsy level, you think quicker on your feet. I can relate, Portia. Because in that sober level, you be anxious, you be a little like, all right, I don't know what this bitch gonna say. But then on that drunk level, you can't read because hey, bitch, I ain't thinking about reading, bitch. It's like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But when you're on that tipsy level, it's like you get the creativity kick in. Like, bitch, fuck you. So, Portia, give her Hennessy anytime she's around these girls so we can live. I don't want to turn her into an alcoholic, though. So, but give her Hennessy like every third scene so she can give us our lives. Candy versus Nene confuses the shit out of me. That's the next segment we got into. It confuses the shit out of me just because I don't understand Candy and Nene's real beef with each other. They go through these ebbs and flows. But they never had a real reason to hate each other or despise each other. So it's like, why do y'all constantly get into it? For what? And then why do y'all go so hard? I don't know, it's confusing. But one thing that had me dead was when Nene was like, learn from the lunchbox. Learn from the lunchbox. And Candy said, bitch, go hide in the lunchbox. Then Nene said, bitch, you can go to the Grammys today. What she said? She said, you can host the Grammys today and they forget about you tomorrow and your outfit, bitch. She said Miss Forgettable. She said Miss Unforgettable, but you know she meant Miss Forgettable. And then what did Candy say to Nene? Candy said, I'm embedded in your motherfucking brain, bitch. I was like, okay. All right, Candy. I don't know if you would have did that in person. You lucky it was virtual. Eva lucky it was virtual too, because Portia would have gotten Eva ass, and Nene and Candy, I don't know who would win that fight. Candy a little younger. They both look like they look, you know what I'm saying, to get with the shits back in the day. But Portia versus Eva, I know Eva from the hood, but she give me, I'm gonna call my goons. Portia give me, no bitch, you won't have a chance. And that's why she's my fave. So then we move on to part 3 of the reunion, and it starts off Nene then left her goddamn laptop. I actually, as much as I like Nene right now, I think that was a punk move. I did not appreciate her leaving the reunion. The reunion is where you're supposed to hash things out. If you can't take the heat virtually, I don't understand like how you're even on the show. And again, I like Nene, but that was a hoe ass, punk ass, like bitch ass move, honestly. Then we move into a discussion about Cynthia and Kenya's friendship, and it really confuses me. Cynthia gives Kenya a lot of passes. A lot. More passes than I would give any friend in real life. So it really boggles my mind why why Cynthia continues to accept whatever Cynthia does to her. Their relationship makes no sense to me. I actually don't know if I am in agreement with them being in an alliance, but hey, it's Cynthia. It seems like Cynthia blindly follows whoever she's friends with. So she was friends with Nene, she agreed with Nene all the time. Now she's friends with Kenya, she agrees with Kenya all the time. Something tells me that her and Kenya's relationship won't last a few more seasons, but we'll see. And I think that her next person is going to be Portia. I honestly do. And she's going to be friends with Portia and then blindly follow whatever Portia tells her to do. Cynthia does not have a backbone as much as she tries to say she's strong, which I'm sure she is because we are all multifaceted human beings. But when it comes to her friendships, she definitely blindly follows whoever her friend is, at least on the show. Pause. I just thought about something. Like, Kenya and Nene are actually very much so the same. And they actually touched on this on the show. They are the same. I mean, they're both very outspoken. They have issues with their mothers. Neither was raised by their parents, but by their mothers. They both have issues with taking accountability for whatever they do. I think one of the major differences between Kenya and Nene is that Kenya is very much so more over dramatic than Nene. Nene's not coming to your event if she don't fuck with you with a marching band talking about Kenya more hair care. Like, she's not gonna do that. But that's probably the one thing that sets them apart, which makes me like Nene more. And it's so funny they say Kenya's not the one to go low down in the gutter. Maybe Kenya doesn't go low down in the gutter with her friends, but she doesn't understand that doing it with Marlo is not okay either. And I get what Marlo said to her was fucked up, but again, like Marlo said, that was like 4 or 5 years ago, and the only reason she said it again was after you did what you did. So Kenya, you trying to justify it by saying she said that about your mother, and then she said it again, but she said it after you did what you did. Make it make sense. Like, girl, get over it. Good night. At some point, they start having a conversation about Kenya and how she provokes people. Let's be clear. Kenya does provoke people. I'm glad that Eva stood up and said Kenya has provoked people on the show, but that night she was not trying to provoke Nene. Although I disagree, I'm glad that one of her friends did say that she does try to provoke people, because she does. So I do think she was trying to provoke Nene that night. You wanted to talk to Shamia for why? For what? For why? For what? For why? Why you wanted to talk to Shamia in that moment? Y'all were arguing and Shamia was directly behind Nene. To me, you were trying to get a response. Bitch, you got one. And what you gonna do? Nothing. Because what you do is you provoke people knowing your ass can't fight. Then you play victim. Oh, you put your hands on me. Bitch, you started it. Dumb bitch. One of the things I loved was Portia getting Nene all the way to fuck together. I mean, not Nene. Portia getting Kenya all the way to fuck together. She was not letting her out. Girl, you done gave this 45-minute color purple monologue, bitch. We is not listening to you no more. Let me talk. Portia is slowly becoming the new queen, while Nene and Kenya is... Portia is like... It's kind of like what happened with Cardi B when Remy Ma and Nicki was arguing. And Remy Ma and Nicki like this, and Cardi B like... on top of both their ass. That's what Portia doing. Nene and Kenya like, and Portia like, you got your new queen. And she already in the middle. And I guarantee you, if this reunion was live, or not live, but in person, Portia would have had her seat next to Andy. Yes, God. Finally, we get to this fucking Yovana segment. Yovana is full of shit, okay? I'm not finna spend too long on this bitch. This bitch talked in circles. I said it, but I didn't say it. I only said it because she said I should say it. Then she said I should record it. So then I recorded it, but I only recorded it because she said so. So when I tried to bring it back to her, she didn't want it. So then I said it. Then she said she didn't want it. So now I said it, but I don't know if I said it or not because I said it, but I didn't really say it because she said it. Bitch, what? What type of fuck shit? What type of fuck circles you talking in? Bitch, we didn't understand. Yovana, you talking in fucking circles. I'm not gonna spend too much time on motherfucking factor ass Yovana. Gail from Clark, Atlanta. That bitch. That lion ass hoe. What the fuck she is? Bitch, fuck out of here. We don't give a fuck what you had to say. And then did you hear what TMZ put out? Yovana has got her peach. Bitch, you mean to tell me ain't none of the other housewives got their peach, but weak ass Yovana got her peach and nobody else got one? That bitch a lie. The sources that told TMZ that is probably the people that she know. And she put out a weak ass song. Y'all go listen to that song. It's called Queen Bitch. That was a queen flop. That shit. Go listen to the song. Give her little views. I'm down with that bitch. So we're almost at the end of the reunion, and Andy reveals that he did the whole reunion in his drawers. Like, he stood up like, I had my jacket, my blazer and my tie and my dress shirt on. But he was like, I was sitting down the whole time, so there wasn't no need to put on no dress pants. I was like, well, go ahead, Andy. I probably would have did the same thing. It's harder for girls to do that because they all wearing dresses and stuff. So, of course, they got to, put the whole dress on. But that's the luxury of being a man, I guess. Well, one of the luxuries of being a man. Not to say women don't have y'all luxuries too now. But it's one of the luxuries of being a man in this type of situation. Shit, I could have nothing on right now. You don't know if I got drawers on, pants on. I might be sitting here with my balls to the fucking seat, stuck, because it's hot as a motherfucker. You never know. As we end the reunion, Kenya's shady ass. Mind you, Nene's not there anymore because she left. And she never came back, which is whack to me. But Kenya's shady ass was like, Eva, Candy, and Cynthia, I want to thank you all for supporting me and being there and blah, 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 blah. Bitch, shut the fuck up, because it was only 5 of them, so Kenya's giving a thank you. She intentionally left Portia out. And Portia was like, you know what, I'm finna disconnect, because y'all being sentimental and shit. And I loved when Candy was like, oh, we love you too, Portia. That was cute. I'm not Candy's biggest fan. Actually, Candy and Kenya are the two I never really liked. But I like that Candy did that to make Portia feel included a little bit. And Kenya's just mad because Portia's the star. Bitch, when you leave a season, like Portia told her earlier, bitch, I've never left. Bitch, I've been in more episodes than you, bitch. But, Kenya's just mad because Portia is the new queen of the Housewives of Atlanta, honey. So that was my review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to end the video as seriously as I started it. So a lot of what's been going on is people have been comparing 2 big pioneers who evoked change in our community, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. There's been some posts that I've seen by primarily white people, but there have been some black people partaking in them as well, saying things like, this isn't what Martin Luther King would have wanted. And people saying, well, I'm more Malcolm X, yada, yada, yada. But I want to read this quote from Martin Luther King to end the video during these tragic times. I don't even want to call them tragic times. I want to call them revolutionary times. During this time of change. During this time of people being fed up with the same old bullshit that y'all been giving us for the longest. This is 400 years of pent-up frustration, and now you're reaping the benefits of what you sowed. You sowed chaos, now you got it. Anywho, this quote is from Dr. Martin Luther King, and it may surprise some as he was not completely opposed to riots. Dr. King said, and I quote, "It's not enough for me to stand before you tonight and condemn riots. It would be morally irresponsible for me to do that without, at the same time, condemning the contingent, intolerable conditions that exist in our society. These conditions are things that cause individuals to feel that they have no other alternative than to engage in violent rebellion to get attention. And I must say tonight that a riot is the language of the unheard. Now that's Dr. Martin Luther King himself. If you are in a city where you all are rioting, please be safe. If you're in a city where there is civil unrest, please be safe. If y'all looting, please get me a 60-inch so I could have a big TV. No, but whatever you're doing in your city, in your state, please be safe. And rest in peace to George Floyd.